It's very important that you know the basics of these, because that way when you're talking to your journeyman, when you're talking to your apprentices, or whatever the case may be, you know what they're talking about, you know what you're talking about, so you don't get two different measurements, two different terminologies, and then you're like, I don't even know what I'm doing. So, all right guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is gonna be one just all talking head. It's gonna be a little bit of information of the bender, a couple of things we need to learn before we start all of the bending videos, so you guys are aware of what to do, what to look for, and how to use this bender, because it's very important that we know. It's gonna be a very faster video than normal. Maybe it might be long, I don't know yet. But there's going to be a lot of information on this bender. Now, there are many benders: Klein, Gardner bender, Ideal, Milwaukee, Greenlee. There's just all different kinds. I will say that the ones that I like the best so far, and I've only used these two pretty exclusively. I've used the Milwaukee a couple times. Milwaukee seems to be good, but the Klein benders and the Ideal benders are my always go-to. They both have stood the test of time. They're both extremely accurate, and they're both very well made. So we're gonna talk a little bit about this one, because this is the one that I have. This is the Klein bender. I've done, like I said before, I have another channel, card be coming up, you can check it out. If you're interested, a lot of electrical videos on there that are different from this channel. This one is only focused on electrical only, where the other one has, I call it my mutt channel. It has bushcrafting, fishing, hunting, blah, blah, blah. Anything you want on there, it's on there. So more electrical now than there was before, but this one specifically, this channel here, specifically for electrical only. So let's talk a little bit about the bender, and we will understand a couple of things on here. We'll go down the rabbit hole on the half-inch bender pretty well, and we'll talk about it. Now, these new Klein benders are really amazing. It has a lot of information on it. Now, right at the get-go, it has all the degree bends on it, from 10 all the way to 45. Now, in between there, if you need something in between there, well, you're gonna have to use your head and figure out where that is. When we do box offsets, which we will, 5 degrees is where we will bend our box offset. Well, if you look on here, there is no 5 degrees. So how are you gonna figure that out? Well, I'm gonna tell you. So let's start right there. These lines on these benders, they only go to, what, maybe an inch and a half, maybe? You have to pretend like that line just keeps going out. There's an imaginary line, and when you're bending that conduit, you need to have your conduit at the bottom, or the top of that line. So the bottom of your conduit will touch that line whatever degree you're going to. So that is important to know. There is no 5 degrees on here. So from the time that you start bending to the time you get to 10, you have to go in between there. That is your 5 degrees. There's no 15 degrees on here. So once again, you have to use your head. Think about where that could be at. Now, you can get a protractor. You can use a protractor. But this is a hand bender. Most of our bends will be 30 degrees, 5 degrees, some 45s, 90s, 22 and a halves. Pretty much whatever they put on here, we're gonna use. I don't use the 60 degree much. Matter of fact, I don't know any time other than teaching my YouTube videos and in class where I've actually used a 60 degree bend. So, because they're very, well, they're just big, and so deep rather, I should say. So 30 degree is the magic number. Now, also on this bender, this is your shoe. That's called the shoe. This is the hook right here. Looks like a hook, because it is a hook. That's what they call it. It's a hook. This is your foot pedal, or where you put your foot at. I call it a foot pedal. There's probably another name for it, but I call it a foot pedal. This is your handle, obviously. A lot of information on here, like I said, has all your degrees, and these are your multipliers. So if you're gonna bend a 10 degree, there's your multiplier. If you're gonna bend a 22 degree, there's your multiplier. Your 30, there's your multiplier, so on and so forth. These numbers on this side are a mirror image of what's on this side. So if you know you need a 45 degree, you can look, okay, 45 degree, I can't remember what it was, which I can, but I can't remember what it is. I don't know what it is. You look on this side, boom, your multiplier is 1.4. They've thought about that, which is pretty freaking amazing, honestly. So they will tell you what the multiplier is. Also, I don't know about this bender, I don't think this bender does it. But they used to put it on here also, what your multipliers are. But now they just kind of put it right on the head. What an amazing product, right? I'm gonna leave links down below in my video for all these products that I use today, and from here on out, if you decide to buy from my channel, it will help my channel grow, and all the money goes right back to you. Now, all the 3/4, 1 inch, and I think the 1 1/4, all have the same things on your bender for the Klein, the brand new ones anyway. Because I have the old yellow handle ones, and that's what I've used. I started out using, I still have them, and they're still amazing. Whatever you have and you ever get comfortable with, once you learn how to use these things, it's all water under the bridge at that point. You can pretty much figure out anything. All right, it tells you the stub length. That's for your 90s. Very important. Now, also on, when you get to 3/4, which is, this is not a 3/4, but when you get to 3/4, you're gonna see this right here. When you look at this one, it says 3/4 EMT. It also has the same setup. It has all of the multipliers and all of the degrees. But this has something a little different, because with this one, you can bend 1/2 inch rigid pipe with it. Now, I've heard through the grapevine that the newer benders, not so much the Klein, when you bend the 1/2 inch rigid, it bends your shoe a little bit, and you don't want that to happen. So I will say, I can say for a fact that the Ideals and the Kleins, both of the ones I'm going to link down below, when you bend the 1/2 inch rigid, it does not screw up your shoe. I will say that. I know for a fact, at least the ones that I have, it has not. So I can't say anything else about the Milwaukee, the Gardner Bender, the Greenlee, any of them other ones. I don't know, but I do know with this one in particular, it does not screw up your hand bender. So keep that in mind. But anyway, like I said, a lot of information on here. A lot of information on here. Now with the 3/4, since I got it in my hand, we'll talk a little bit about that. This is a 6 inch take up on your 90. So you're gonna lose 6 inches right off the bat. So this is for 3/4. The hook, the shoe, all right? This is this little notch right here, which as you can see. Now, that is the arrow basically. So instead of looking on the side, you can just stay on the top and you can see without looking down over the side where your arrow is. Now, this right here, it's a little easier to see on the 3/4. That right there, that notch right there, that is the center of your bends. So if you're trying to get into the peak of a roof and you want that nice flow from up to the next, that is your, we call them rim notches, or notches, but those are your notches. That is the center of your bend, all right? Now, there's something else right here, right under my finger. That little star, that is basically where you would bend a 90 without any math. Now, we will go down that video later on in the series, but that's gonna be a ways away yet. So that is a star. That's how you would bend a 90 without any math. It's already figured in for you, so super easy. Now, well, these benders, they come with a little attachment you can plug in here, and then you can come down here. It's kind of like a shoe stop, I guess. I don't recommend using them. Now, I took them all off here because all my students, I want to make sure that they can use it accurately without having that aid. Because, yeah, it does help. Yes, it does make your bending a little bit faster, but you don't need all that. So, if you want to keep up with it, have at it. But if you're in my class, we're not going to use them. So, regardless, that's pretty much everything on this bender that you really need to know. There's a lot, like I said, a lot of writing on this. You know, it tells all the distance between your bends, the shrinks, you know, just all kinds of different stuff for different kinds of measurements. Here's another bender I have. I want to show you. This is a 1 inch. This is the big boy, not the biggest boy, because 1 1/4 is the biggest one. But this same thing goes, you know, can't really put my hand to show you, but it does have a take up on your 90, and also you can bend 3/4 rigid on this. So it's pretty heavy bender. Same thing goes, shoe, you know, all your marks are the same, all your measurements, all your degrees are all the same on here. It also does come with the shoe guide or the shoe stopper or whatever you want to call it, the aid, but really nice. This is for 1 inch, EMT, 3/4 rigid. All of these will be linked down below, like I mentioned. So that is pretty much what I wanted to go over with you. You know, when you bend, you want to keep your foot, which I'm going to show you here in a second, in front of the bender so it doesn't slide out in front of you, because it will potentially slide out and then you're going to pinch your fingers and you're going to be really mad. Let me show you what I suggest you do when you're bending so that don't happen. All right, so when you get your bender and you get your pipe in here, a lot of people like to bend like this, you know, stand behind here. Well, what's going to happen is that's going to flip out, and then you're going to be pissed because it's going to pinch your fingers because you're going to try to grab it, and then you're going to have a big blood blister, or you're going to break your finger and you're going to be really mad. Best thing to do is take your foot right here on your arch, put your foot right in front of it. It ain't going nowhere. It is literally not going anywhere. So then you can pull your bender down. It's not going to slide out. You're not going to have to worry about getting your finger all pinched. It's dialed in perfectly. Same goes when you do a 90. You put it in, you know, you want foot pressure. Your foot is what's going to bend this 90. You don't want a rainbow. You see how this bender is standing pretty much straight up? It has a flat spot on it. It's going to literally stay where you put it. If it was over here, it wouldn't stay because it's going to want to go back to center every single time. You see, I'm not doing anything. It wants to go back to center every single time. So when you bend a 90, you have to drive your foot straight to the floor, and basically you're just going to pull real easy and pull this up. So it's super easy to do. We're going to do a video on this, like I said, and it's just easy. You just want to have this for pulling it, but this is what's going to really drive home the 90 to make it look very tight, very professional, and you want it to be perfect with your foot pressure. So keep that in mind. Foot pressure is the key. And that's it. That's all there is to it. Now, what we have to do next is we have to get into the bending videos. Now, I do know this was kind of boring, but it gives you a very good introduction to all of these benders. It's very important that you know the basics of these, because that way when you're talking to your journeyman, when you're talking to your apprentices, or whatever the case may be, you know what they're talking about, you know what you're talking about, so you don't get two different measurements, two different terminologies, and then you're like, I don't even know what I'm doing. So that is the basics. That's what we call it, hand bender. We will start very shortly with box offsets. That is going to be our very first video. And then we'll work up from there. We're going to do a lot of different bending videos. Like I said, I do have that other channel if you want to check it out. It's got all kinds of stuff on it. So definitely check it out. If this video has given you any value, definitely smash that thumbs up. Give me a like, subscribe. Leave me a comment down below if you want to see anything. If I didn't cover something you wanted me to cover, please let me know. Click right here if you want to see what I would consider to be a good pair of linesman's pliers, because there are many out there. It's not Klein. Klein is still the best, but a good budget-friendly linesman's pliers, you might want to check these videos out and watch. All right, if you like what you see, like and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one. Have a great day.